Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Inside of today's video, we're going to be looking at some scrim gameplay just before the world finals for you guys. You guys have been asking for it a lot. Of course, I don't want to give out too many strategies, but it's just in general, I won't be talking about too much like our strategy going into games, just so I don't give anything away, but at least be showing you guys some good practice gameplay. So before we get into today's video, make sure you're using the create code in the shop. Mine be greatly appreciated if you want to pick up any cool skins like this Captain Crow skins. So without further ado, let's jump into today's video. All right, guys, so jumping into the first game up against Big inside of this practice game. So I thought this would be a really good one to show because of like the mid inside of this game. Like Lola as a mid actually is super strong. So if you're wondering of the bans, I think there were Poco Max. I can't think of the other two. Of course, I don't want to give too much away, but I know those two were the bans for sure. So as you can see, like on Gem 4 with these specific bans, we're just finding Leon and Rico just to be way too strong. They're such good lanes, especially because you can put that gadget and help the mid out a lot. It's just really infuriating if you haven't got Leon yourself with that gadget. So as you can see here, Drage does get pulled, but Lola is an insane mid. You'll see here, well, I can see here, I get a really good potential to get those gems and nearly get a Rico as well. But the best thing about Lola by far on this map is just, it feels like no brawler can actually push her in the middle. So the brawlers that you're thinking of trying to counter her with, probably like a Sprout in the middle, maybe like a Jessie or like a Belle, they're going to be the biggest counters towards Lola. But even Jessie we tried out wasn't really that good of a counter to Lola, just because like her gadget is just insane. So the way you play Lola, literally you press the gadget button, you stand behind it, and that gadget, well, your super is basically invincible. I feel like that gadget is just way too strong. I'm hoping that, well, I don't think there'll be a balance change before the world finals, but definitely in the future that needs a nerf because it's way too strong. But you can see here, just keeping them back. But inside of Gen 4, I do actually really like this map. It's really Rico heavy, which you've never really seen in past metas before, but loving the Rico meta inside of this map. So I think I do actually go down here. Yeah, I actually remember this one. So Drake's going to pick up all the gems here, but keeping them back so far. So with Poco in play, I think it'd be a little bit different because a lot of people like to go like Poco Rosa Mortis combinations on this map, but with Poco banned, you're going to eliminate a lot of his compositions. So that's going to be the first game right there. Let's hop into the next one. All right, guys, so going into the next game up against Clash. So again, I'm not too sure what the bans were inside of this one. I don't really want to reveal too much, but you can probably take a guess of what is banned if you look at like similar patterns throughout it. So I'll probably just show like 3 or 4 games from this scrim, try and show some balanced gameplay. So as you can see, both teams going with the mirror. So Lola again, just absolutely wrecking it in scrims. A lot of people within like the past week, even after the nerf, well, even before the nerf, sorry, were a bit hesitant with Lola, not quite sure, because every single time we brought out Lola or faced a Lola, it just seemed unstoppable. Now it finally feels like people are starting to realize just how broken she is, and you can basically use her in every single combination. So you can see here, kind of pop off, get the kill on Chaos and get the kill onto Linane. So again, when you're against a Sprout and a Piper, it's really hard to fight off, especially once like you got pressure from the Marco as well. So that's a good wall from Chaos, but I'm just gonna push up. I'm not too sure why Chaos was using that gadget. Obviously, I mean, it could be good for the spawn trap. If you get them in a good spawn trap and they haven't got like a Piper to break through, it could be pretty decent. So apologies for that, I guess. So crash, it just happens all the time. But you can see here, I get a good wall in the middle. That's just a really good wall placement. Once you learn, once you see, like, if you want to learn that placement, just kind of slow it down and see exact style where I put it, and it just always perfectly blocks off the middle, and it blocks off a lot more of the track. And that's what you want with the Sprout walls, just block off as much as possible. But that's going to be another game right there. Let's hop into the next one. All right, guys, so going into the next game. So I thought I'd try an interesting strategy that a lot of people have been using, especially in Bounty at the moment. Not too sure who thought of this strategy. I think it might have been SK, like secretly, when Bo used to have that glitch with his skin where he used to actually have like a bigger radius with his shots. I think they started to kind of start this strategy off because obviously trying to get some value out of the Bo totem with Penny, and it just seems to still kind of stick in the Bounty meta for some reason, and on a few other maps as well. So obviously the strategy is, he's seen straight away, I'm going to put a gadget in spawn, give Penny that turret, and then you should be able to wreck. So they've actually got a counter to this comp other than the Mortis. Like Mortis is good against all 3, but they've gone with a Brock. Brock's never really seen, but Brock, it's the main reason why this strategy didn't used to work in the past, because Brock was just like the best brawler in the game. He had his gadgets break open the walls, he used to get super so much, and you just see Brock everywhere. But now in scrims, you don't see Brock whatsoever, you don't see him at all. So they're definitely trying to counter this comp with this strategy. So again, all they've got to do is try not allow Drage to pop off with a Mortis. Drage's Mortis, I've been saying for a long time now, has actually been insane. I think he's got one of the best Mortises in the world. He's improved so much, and you can just see here, he's just popping it off. So you're kind of with Mortis, you just got to learn like when not to go in, when to get the most value out of your bats, and he's doing really, really well here. So managed to get the lead. So Drage got the most HP out of all of us. He's going to look to try and tank it. I mean, all of us can really tank it. As long as the nanny doesn't get someone who's low, it should be pretty alright. So we can see here, basically all of our walls are destroyed. We've got like nothing to hide behind. So again, we're kind of waiting for Drage to pop off. It's kind of like a Mortis carry comp, if anything, like the bow and Penny just there to kind of distract, just trying to get like a good setup of the mines and a Penny turret. It's like a toxic combination. Who would have thought, like, I thought this would be like a noob strategy, and you guys are probably thinking it's a bit of a noob strategy, but it actually is a pretty decent one if the enemy team don't expect it. So 7 seconds left, just trying to hold it on for as long as possible. Drage going to go in here on the nanny. He's able to survive, and we're able to pick off the wins. So the strategy really, really interesting. You guys got to try it out for yourself. Let's hop into the next game. All right, guys, so now moving on to Brawl. So for some reason, again, inside of scrims, just this beat like Frank combination is just completely like broken. I don't know what's really happened, and it's probably going to be an even, like, it kind of like the meta just changes up. It's like a weird cycle, and right now just B Frank is just everywhere. The reason is like whenever Frank pushes up with super behind his walls, it's near enough a guaranteed goal. So I see that's an amazing goal by Drage. I remember seeing in VC like how did he get that in, but somehow he manages to sneak that one in. So yeah, as I was saying, like, you've seen a lot of B Frank just to open up the walls. Before, the meta used to be like Piper, Leon, but I just feel like Frank just has so much HP. If a Frank can manage to get up behind and spawn trap, it's just so toxic. There's not much that can really deal with it, and again, there's not many like wall breaker options on this map that can really counter him. I'm just trying to think of counters for myself. Probably like a Crow. Crow might come back in the meta, because even brothers like Spike, Frank can still kind of run up against. So I think like Max might have been better. I can't actually remember inside of this one, but Drage able to pop off, get the double kill right there. 60 Chaos, he's got super. He's just going to run up with so much HP, and I just can't take him down quickly enough. I know Loader has a good amount of DPS, but weren't allowed, or I can't even get my words out. I weren't able to get the kill on there. So now we've got a spawn trap going. We are 1-0 up, but it's going to be really hard for us to get his Frank out. So right here, Tom probably should have supered straight away, but obviously we did realize that straight away. But Chaos gets that super, he's able to score, and just see how toxic this Frank is. You've seen it quite a lot, I think, in ESL a few days ago when I can't remember what teams faced off against each other, but you just seen a lot of Frank on this map. So it's just really weird to see the most open map in the game, Frank being so strong. So maybe me saying that Frank is overrated, probably I was a bit wrong there, because Frank is just everywhere right now inside of scrims. So Drage in the 1v2 situation, trying to buy as much time as possible, but unfortunately we just don't have the DPS to take him down. So that's going to be another game right there. Let's hop into the last one. All right, guys, so going into the final game right here. So again, not trying to give too much away, but both teams actually going for like kind of like a mirror strategy. I think the reason is because like aggro is just really insane on this map. So the only real mid that can deal with it is like an 8-bit really. I mean, maybe like a Pam mid might be decent, but it's just aggro is just super strong on harder at mine at the moment, and you're looking for good brawlers to kind of counter it. So I went for Byron, 8-bit, went with Stu to kind of counter them a little bit, but they've got the Ruffs to counter the Stu really well. So you're basically going to see here is both Byrons just healing the 8-bit as much as possible, and it's kind of just up to the 8-bit to try and get some nice shreds onto the enemy 8-bit. So for me, as my job, I'm trying to like get a couple of shots onto them so I can get the melees onto 8-bit. That's always the role with Byron. Is obviously trying to heal up the 8-bit as much as possible, but every now and then get some of them chip shots in, building up that melee style power, throwing it onto the 8-bit, and then 8-bit just gets absolutely shredded because he has no heals behind him. So you can see here that it gave the power up to the 8-bit. So now not only does 8-bit have extra damage, he has extra HP as well. He has the heals as well, and imagine once the Byron gets that upgrade, it's going to be really hard in those 1v1 interactions to kind of win it. So Drage with some nice beams. I think right now we're actually winning the gem race because we're 2 gems up. They've got the spawn there, so yeah, we've definitely got the advantage here. So Drage doing some good jobs beaming. I think Tom's just waiting for the Ruffs to kind of mess up, and then he goes in. He does unfortunately get taken down. I think I get the trade on him. Drage really weak here, so I guess going to push up, try and get as much value and try and take down as many turrets as possible. And again, it's just kind of like a really slow, patient game here. There's a lot different to the hard rep mine I'm kind of used to. It was a bit random how both teams just went this composition. So again, unfortunately, I get taken down. Probably a little bit too aggressive there. Drage with a really nice beam onto the enemy Baron there. Unfortunately gets taken down, but we're still in a really good position. Gear going to go really weak. We are 9 gems to 8. Tom gets a really important kill on Chaos, which allows him to get some good aggression down the lane. So at a minute, we actually just need that 1 extra gem. I think Drage does have that TP, so he's going to go for it here, TP back, and there's all the gems we need. So just going to push back. Nice melees onto Yie means he's just going to get melted whenever anyone puts a little bit of ammo into him. I'm just going to try and heal Drage up as much as possible. Does get taken down, unfortunately, because of the melees, but the countdown does reset. Don't think there's any way of Clash getting back inside of this one. So again, I just tried to show as many games as playing well as possible. Of course, in scrims, I'll always say that it kind of I'm not obviously showing every single game. There's a lot of different games. There's literally 24 games plus in every single scrim, so it'd be kind of hard to show a balanced gameplay, but it's just showing some of our best games really. Of course, there's a lot of games like Clash played really well and Big played really well and all these other teams as well that we showed. But yeah, that's going to be it for today's video. It's actually going to be the last scrim gameplay that I show before the World's Finals. Of course, I don't want to be revealing too many strategies before it, but I thought I'd show you guys what we're kind of up to in scrims at the moment. And I think we're actually performing pretty well, definitely at the level, well, we're kind of near the level that we're expecting. And then, of course, we've got a big week ahead, so we can really push and get towards that World Final momentum. So that's going to be it for today's video. Again, thank you guys all for support. Really, really appreciate it. Hopefully, we can bring back that dub for you guys. So yeah, that's going to be it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time.